The Canucks have a serious problem as a string of consistent issues carried over from last season reared their ugly heads versus the Canadiens Saturday night in a game that quickly took a turn for the worse and has fans irate when they were expecting a much needed win. We're going to break down all that in this episode of Canucks Digest, but first, if you're not a part of the 40% of viewers who are already subscribed and you want to stay up to date on all things Canucks, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss any of the updates as they drop. And with that, let's hop straight into it, which is that the Canucks choke again. Now, I know you guys on the West Coast were probably seeing a very early Canucks game playing at 7 o'clock on Eastern Standard Time, but for 4 o'clock for you guys. But the Canucks were not able to bring home a much needed home win, and then they dropped their home record down to 1-2 on the year, overall at 4-5. But they had a 2-0 lead and then gave up 4 unanswered goals where everything just kind of fell apart in the third period. Power play was a big struggle for the Canucks, which you're going to hop into in a second. But overall, the initial takeaways that I had from this game was ultimately very, very disappointing. It seemed like the first period, things were going good for the Canucks. Second period, things were getting a little bit better. A little bit shaky there towards the end of the period. And then the wheels just kind of fell off and we were just trying to just scramble to get something going in that final few minutes. It was a bit of, I will give Adam Foote a lot of credit. That was a very ballsy call, pulling Kevin Lankinen with 4 minutes exactly left. Thank God we scored a very quick extra attacker goal, because that could have gone sideways very quickly and would have had fans even more upset on social media than they already are. But thankfully, that was a move that did pay off. They just could not bring it home in the last minute when they did have Lankinen pulled. Thankfully, we didn't give up any empty netter goals. There was a lot of bad lucky bounces that went our way when the Habs were trying to clear it in there and get that empty net goal. Thankfully, it took a good bounce. Petey was just hauling his ass back there trying to get it going. Conor Garland, you saw in that picture in the intro where at the end of the game, he was trying everything in his power to get a final shot in there to give the Canucks a tying goal to push it to overtime. Brock Boeser had a really good chance late, and that was a goal. That was a shot that usually he makes 9 times out of 10 or almost 10 times out of 10, but he just could not get full control of the puck. But looking at the scoring, it opened up with Elias Pettersson scoring a really nice goal off of a beautiful setup from Conor Garland, who took a big hit to Filip Hronek, who gave another great pass to Petey to get that first goal and get his second of the season. Awesome to see him kind of get a lot more confidence going. We'll hop into how well he played later on in this video. But Jake DeBrusk getting a power play goal, which the Canucks absolutely needed. The power play has been terrible. It's been terrible for the past 2 years. Let's be honest here, folks. But this season, it's been really bad. But thankfully, they were able to get a power play goal. And it was, of course, Jake DeBrusk of all people, assisted by Elias Pettersson and as well as Quinn Hughes. Then, of course, Suzuki gets a power play goal, which every Canucks fan, when they saw that power play happen, they were getting very nervous as they gave up 2 straight power play goals for the Habs to get that momentum and tie the game up. When that first power play goal happened, I was getting worried. When that second one happened, I was getting terrified, because yes, the game was tied, but the Habs had so much momentum, and they had that momentum without needing to have it at 5-on-5 hockey. They had that momentum where the Canucks were decimated, where they were playing shorthanded, and they were able to just take advantage of that, and it just led to them just rattling off a few more goals, because they scored 2 more with Matheson and Demidov, who's probably going to win Rookie of the Year, getting that ultimately game-clinching goal. And then Conor Garland, like I said, he was busting his ass the entire game, and he made sure to just make use of that in the final 4 minutes when he scored that goal to get them back within 1 more to make it 4-3. Ultimately, it was not enough for them to get the W. It did suck to see. Quinn Hughes played a really decent game. Overall, there was some really good shining spots, but there was a lot of problems that Vancouver needs to fix. And that is the big thing, is these problems that are consisting from last season are carrying over. Yes, they're getting more offense going. It's awesome to see that even though Adam Foote is a defensive-minded head coach, that the Canucks are still getting a lot of offensive chances. They're averaging a lot higher of shots on goal per game than they did last season or even the season before that. So you can definitely see a bit of a shift. It's not the same old Rick Tocchet dump and chase hockey and defensive hockey that we saw for the past 2 years. No, Foote is kind of making this his own and saying, hey, we can keep that defensive identity while also being an offensive team and generating a lot of shots on goal. They're averaging over about 10 shots per period in each game, so that is awesome to see. But there is a big ass but in all of this, and that is the power play and the penalty killing. The biggest thing for this game was that is exactly what allowed Montreal to get back in it, was Vancouver being undisciplined. That Evander Kane penalty was terrible. I know he was trying to defend it. It was a really cool clip to kind of have, but overall, you can't take a penalty like that. You can't make a hit like that. You know better than you've been playing hockey long enough to know you cannot make a hit like that. It was a cross check and it was a hit from behind. Just made matters even worse. He was kind of lucky that he didn't get even more of a penalty assessed on that, maybe even a double minor. But nonetheless, it still resulted in the Habs scoring a power play goal. It just sucked to see. But then you also have the faceoffs were a big concern as well, where they were not efficient at all, going 23 for 61. You saw there where near the end of the game, Ratu comes in and literally just shoves Petey out of the faceoff circle, saying, no, you get set up for a one-timer. I'm going to try and win this faceoff because I'm the best faceoff guy that we have. And that's no lie. Aatu Ratu, that's the biggest skill set that he has. He's a really big body guy. He's not the fastest guy, but you send him out there quickly to win a draw and then get him off the ice pretty quickly to get another guy on there to score a goal. That's where he's very well utilized for this team. However, tonight that was not the case. But the biggest thing here is that the Canucks not only could not stop the power play, they couldn't get anything going on the power play really. Yeah, they got one goal, but they had 3 opportunities at getting a power play goal and they could not do it. And that is a very consistent problem we're seeing. The other consistent problem we're seeing with the Canucks this year, folks, is a matter of choking massively in games, having 2-goal leads, 3-goal leads, and just seeing it disappear like that. It just goes away so fast for Vancouver. It feels like no lead is safe for Vancouver, even if they're up by 5 at this point, because it just goes away so fast, where teams, for some reason, gain a lot of momentum once they score even 1 goal against us, let alone 2, where they just have a fire under them and they just rattle off a bunch. And well, before you know it, a comfortable Canucks lead is absolutely gone, or getting very close to being gone, or is just completely gone. And they're down 2 goals when they were up 2 goals not too long before that. So that is a huge thing for Vancouver. They need to fix it. Those are the 2 biggest problems for Vancouver. There is a lot of other problems going on right now, don't get me wrong, but those are the 2 biggest ones, is not getting anything going on the power play and choking these leads. You need to not play comfortably. You need to keep playing aggressively and not play with your foot on the gas, basically. Run up that score as much as you can. I'm not saying the Canucks got complacent in this game. It was just a matter of taking dumb penalties and leading to a lot of opportunities for Montreal and some very sloppy defensive play, because that is the biggest thing for Vancouver. And heading into this game, everyone had their eyes on the shiny new toy of Lukas Reichel, but the biggest problem for Vancouver has been their defense for a lot of this season, is that they don't have the depth that they need to make it happen with this. We thought we had that heading into this season. We thought we were fully set on the defensive front, and it was just that the 2C spot we had to worry about, or just the forwards group we had to worry about. No, it's the defense right now. It's kind of hurting him. We need to figure something out fast. Yes, POJ had 2 shots on net, but he was still a -2 overall on the game. So that is some things that they really need to shore up here when you're looking at the box score for the Canucks overall in this game. Conor Garland, you know he's going to play his ass off every game. Same with Jake DeBrusk, Brock Boeser. Those guys really played well. But when you look at the defensive front there, Quinn Hughes did not generate a single shot on net. That is not what we're used to seeing from Quinn Hughes, where he's used to getting it on net at least a couple times a game. We did not see that from him. POJ, he did have 2 shots on net, but it was a -1 along with Elias Pettersson as well. Marcus Pettersson was just getting cardio out there as well. Filip Hronek was able to generate some chances, got an assist as well. Quinn Hughes, while I am dogging on him for not getting a shot on net, yes, he got 2 assists, so he was able to generate opportunities. So yeah, he's still in the clear there. But overall, this defense is leaving Kevin Lankinen out to dry in a lot of instances, specifically on the power play, where I know you're shorthanded. It's tough to play defensively sometimes, but you got to get those big bodies out there, and we got to stop taking stupid penalties. Vander Kane, I'm looking at you, bud. I know that it's great having you out there to kind of just ruffle some feathers, just like Kiefer Sherwood is, but you guys are 2 different types of players, and it's very disparaging when you look at it, where Kiefer Sherwood, the way that he hits, very clean, but still very hard, and then he also is able to kind of talk smack between the whistles and kind of get things going without just getting too rowdy and taking a penalty at that, instigating or something like that. Vander Kane is the flip side of that. So that discipline, you got to kind of rein it in a bit more. You're not playing in San Jose anymore. You got to kind of throw that out by the wayside. That was gone a long time ago, hopefully. I know it kind of continued in Edmonton. but you got to wash that away completely for this Vancouver team, because this is a team that cannot afford to be shorthanded with how much they're getting taken advantage of on the power play. But what did you guys think about the game? Do you guys think that there were bigger problems aside from just choking a 2-0 lead and getting a little bit complacent, or sloppy, I should say, not complacent. They just got sloppy on the defensive end and allowed Montreal to get momentum. And do you think that the power play and penalty kill is also the other biggest problem in Vancouver right now? If it's not, let us know what you guys think the biggest problem is down in the comments below. And stay tuned for tomorrow's episode as well, because Elliotte Friedman did drop a little bit of nuggets on the Vancouver Canucks during the intermission as well that we're going to touch on in a video tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. You won't want to miss it. But for now, I've been your host, Griffin. That's going to do it for this episode of Canucks Digest. Take care.